Hello guys and welcome to another video from your favorite broken English guy. And welcome to the next episode of the Combat Master community weapon build reviews. If you are new on this channel and don't know what the series is about, per episode I review 5 Combat Master weapon builds, so I try them out and tell my opinion on them, and the builds are recommended by the community. If you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, I highly recommend you to watch them. A link to the playlist will be in the comments down below. Also, if you want your Combat Master weapon build to get reviewed by me in this series, just leave a comment under this video with your weapon build and also with the hashtag #BuildReview. Important to say is that my reviews and ratings are based on my personal opinion, so if I didn't like your weapon build, for example, it's just my personal opinion, and if you who recommended me this build likes to play with that build, feel free to do that. So I have talked enough and let's start with the first weapon build of today's episode. So the first build is from Weird0249 and he recommended me his AK build. For the muzzle he used the ultralight suppressor, for the barrel the 8.1 Romanian barrel, for the optics the OSA monocle optic, for the stock the no stock convention, for the ammunition the 20 round steel max, and for the perk extra XP. And this is how the AK build looks like. If we talk about sprint speed, this weapon build feels amazing. It basically feels like a literal SMG, but there are some attachments I really don't like and I don't really understand why you put them on this gun. For example, the suppressor. So it's basically an attachment without any buffs. It only decreases your fire range. To be honest, I would pick another muzzle attachment. For example, the Banff Rose muzzle or the Kring Convert monolithic suppressor. Also, I am not an optic fan in Combat Master, so instead of using an optic, I would pick a grip, for example, which increases the sprint speed, for example. Also, I understand why you have picked the no stock conversion. It's because of the sprint speed and it looks very cool, but I personally would pick the Edge Hexen buffer tube stock. So it basically increases 7% of your sprint speed instead of 8%, but you have also 46% faster aim movement with this stock. And I personally very like increased aim movement, so I would rather pick this stock. And last but not least, the weapon perk. I don't know if you have picked this perk because you want to level your gun faster, but I personally think that this is the worst perk in the game and I would pick another perk for this build. For example, sleight of hand. In the end, I want to say that apart from the weird attachments, I think your build is okay and I would give you a 5 out of 10. The next build is from SSS474 and he recommended me his favorite M4 DMR build. For the barrel he uses the F1 Marksman barrel, for the optics the Trishcon TA02 LED scope, for the stock the SG heavy stock, for the ammunition the Spear.77 Fury 20 round ammunition, for the receiver the VR80 heavy receiver, and for the perk hollow point. And this is how his M4 DMR build looks like. And I want to be honest with you, this is the best DMR build I have played so far. I've tried to play this build in multiplayer and combat zone, but I have to admit that I didn't like this build in the multiplayer, so in deathmatch. I mean, it was very strong, but it doesn't fit my playstyle, to be honest. But in combat zone, this build was a literal beast. I have played this DMR build with the G18 and it was amazing. It felt like a real half-automatic sniper rifle. And if you guys want to try this build out in combat zone, I highly recommend you to do that. And I will give you for this build an 8 out of 10. The next build is from Kevin Andrews 5272 and he recommended me his sick MCX build. For the muzzle he uses the KVP XL linear compensator, for the stock the Ace ultralight stock, for the underbarrel the Tyrant design Halo mini vert grip, for the ammunition the 50 round drum max, for the grip the Rapid Plus grip, and for the perk FMJ. And this is how his build looks like. And I have to admit that this is a very decent build. For sure it's not the best way how you build the sick MCX, but it feels alright. The sprint speed and the time to kill feels very good. And I personally think that this build is okay. It's for sure not the best, but okay. And I will give you for this build a 7 out of 10. The next build is from X369 and he recommended me his M3 super build. So for the muzzle, he uses the Griffin QD muzzle. For the barrel, the 33 Super Short Extended Barrel. For the stock, the Comtech Champion stock. For the underbarrel, the Merc foregrip. For the ammunition, he uses the Hardcast Slug rounds. And for the perk, FMJ. And this is how his M3 Super build looks like. So the main focus of this build is on hipfire accuracy and increased fire range. In my opinion, this build feels amazing. The hipfire accuracy is insanely good, and because of the increased fire range, you can literally snipe enemies from the distance. I think that this build is very good for the M3 Super, and I will give you a 10 out of 10 for this build. And the last build for today's video is from Monarch CM, and he recommended me his AK speed build. So for the barrel, he used the 8.1 Vitiaz light barrel. For the stock, the no stock conversion. For the underbarrel, the rail scales RSB vertical grip. For the ammunition, the 45 round magazine. For the grip, the AKSU ergo grip. And for the perk, sleight of hand. And this is how his build looks like. So as he mentioned in his comment, that's a speed build for the AK. And this build does a very good job at being a speed build, but only in terms of sprint speed. Like the first AK build of this video, the time to kill because of the decreased fire range is not so good in my opinion. And also the aim movement is not so good. But because of the 45 round magazine, you have a bigger ammo capacity. All in one, this build is okay. I personally would not use this, but it's kinda playable, even if I really don't like the time to kill. So I will give you a 6 out of 10 for this build. So and that's it for today's episode. Tell me your opinion on today's reviews in the comments down below. Also, I would like to know if you think that my rating is fair in these videos. Also, I want to ask you if you would like to see more weapon builds per episode, because I think that 5 is enough. But if you would like to see 6, 7 or even 8 builds per video, let me know in the comments down below. But for sure, the 5th episode is gonna be a special episode. I'm planning to do a 20-minute long community weapon build review video, so I would highly recommend you to send me as many weapon builds as possible. But first, let's wait for the part 4 of the build reviews. Also, the next episode of the channel reviews will probably drop on Friday, but this depends when the content update will drop, and hopefully next week. Also, special thanks to everyone who recommended me his Combat Master weapon build, and especially for those who are in today's video. And if your weapon build were not in this episode, don't worry, it will probably appear in the next episodes, so don't worry about that. But that's it for today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Combat Master videos like this, and I will see you in the next video.